I think you're patiently waiting to meet Mother. I'd like to say one very simple thing, and that is to reiterate what William Doblow has just said, that although Sahaja Yoga heals, and it heals very, very effectively, because I've seen clinical cases where many, many fantastic cures have been effected, basically, self-realization gives you your spiritual ascent, and as a byproduct, you get better. Sometimes it's instant cure. Sometimes it takes several weeks, depending upon the nature of the problem. But we have to see things a little bit in reverse to the traditional thought in medicine. And that is that first we have to fix the subtle body, and then the gross problems, be they mental, emotional, or physical, will get better. So first we have to fix the subtle mechanism within each one of us, and then in turn, the gross problem, which we call disease, will get better. So we have to change our priorities. We have to first get to the subtle, and then the more common ideas we have on healing are automatically put in their right perspective. The other thing I'd like to say, is by way of introduction to Mother, is that if Sahaja Yoga is a very rapid happening, if it's something which occurs often, as has been said by the saints of India about her, in the twinkling of an eye, or by a mere glance, or by her attention, how the Kundalini can rise, shoot up through this subtle body, and give you your yoga, give you your union with God, you quite rightly will ask, how can it be? More, you will ask, how can it be so simple? How can it, in fact, be granted on, how can it be granted en masse? How can it be granted to as many as, say, 200 or 300 people here, or to 6,000, which I have witnessed in India? These are very real questions, which I'm sure many of you have in your mind. How can it be so simple? Perhaps even the question is, why Mataji? What about the other gurus? What about faith healing? What about? You see, because it happens simply, this makes the whole process all the more remarkable. So Mataji has to be somebody very special. She has to be somebody very special, that en masse the Kundalini will rise. In fact, a saint who came down from the Himalayas to visit one of Shri Mataji's programs in India himself was absolutely amazed and prostrated himself at her feet when he saw from his celestial vision the mass rising of Kundalini in an audience of some 700 or 800 people. This was a fantastic happening, and it's just as fantastic in each one of us tonight. It happens spontaneously. It's a real happening, and it happens in her presence, but it happens also in the presence of a realized soul who has been granted self-realization by the Mother. And so we have to humble ourselves a little bit. We have to keep a little bit of a mystery in the back of our mind as to who she is. If it can happen so simply, it must be something rather remarkable, and indeed she must be a rather remarkable person.